My fellow Redlanders, this 4th of July, as we celebrate the actions and the ideals that gave birth to our great nation, let me take this opportunity on behalf of the City Council to wish you a safe and happy Independence Day. Today, we are reminded not only of the sacrifices made by those revolutionary colonists who declared the birth of a new nation on July 4th, 1776. We are also reminded of the sacrifices made by many revolutionaries who struggled through more than 2 centuries and who continue, even today, the fight to uphold those self-evident truths that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And I am reminded that those revolutionaries and patriots did more than declare their independence from an unrepresentative and unresponsive government an ocean away. At the same time, they also declared their dependence on one another. With a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, they declared, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. This is the declaration and the pledge I hope we will all keep in our hearts this Independence Day as our nation rises to meet the significant challenges of our time. We are a community of individuals, but if we are to thrive, we must share the common goals to protect one another, to provide for one another, to lift up, to cherish, and respect one another. It is through our mutual pledge to one another that we create a greater, more just, more prosperous community. Nearly a century after the Declaration of Independence, President Abraham Lincoln declared another sacred challenge in his second inaugural address to a nation divided and scarred by civil war. With malice towards none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right, as God gives us to see the right, let us strive on to finish the work we are in, to bind up the nation's wounds, to care for him who shall have borne the battle, and for his widow and his orphan, to do all which may achieve and cherish a just and lasting peace among ourselves and with all nations. 100 years later, in July 1965, speaking at Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. again proclaimed the living ideals expressed in the Declaration of Independence. Noting the declaration that all men are created equal, he said, never before in the history of the world has a socio-political document expressed in such profound, eloquent, and unequivocal language the dignity and the worth of human personality. The American dream reminds us, and we should think about it anew on this Independence Day, that every man is an heir of the legacy of dignity and worth. After their independence from England was won, the authors of the Constitution declared their intent to form a more perfect union. This is an ongoing effort to form a more perfect union. Every generation, we are reminded again of our founding ideals and often see where we have fallen short. But we continue to work as Americans to achieve something closer to perfection. I pray that this Independence Day, all of us reflect on those ideals and work together to form a more perfect union. Once again, on behalf of the City Council, I wish you and your families a wonderful 4th of July. May God bless each of you in our beloved hometown of Redlands, now and always.